assumptions made by Senator Sanders. In fact, he wrote, quote, "It is likely that the actual cost of Medicare for All would be substantially greater than these estimates, which assume significant administrative and drug cost savings under the plan, and also assume that healthcare providers operating under Medicare for All will be reimbursed at rates more than 40% lower than those currently paid by private health insurance." In fact, he lays out an alternate scenario that does not include savings from provider payment cuts, and in that scenario, the report says that there would be a net increase in healthcare spending. Now, we're not here to make a judgment on the viability of Medicare for All, and we have no idea if the Koch brothers influenced the writing of this Mercatus Center study. But it does seem pretty clear that the presentation being made by Senator Bernie Sanders and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez about this study lacks a lot of context, and the author of the study says they are not being accurate. A reminder to all you politicians out there, you're perfectly entitled to your own opinions, not to your own facts. I'm Jake Tapper for...
This guy's an asshole. He's working for establishment Democrats who, of course, want to pander to the corporations. He's lying. The report, I read the report. The report clearly has statistics in it that can be used to say that we can save trillions of dollars. Now, what he's not saying, he talks about what they're not saying. Well, what he's not saying, he's not saying that the report doesn't extrapolate out. If you extrapolate out and you take into account the fact that, well, lots of people are going to take advantage of free health care, so you're going to end up with trillions of dollars worth of new people entering the system, and they're all going to be sick, right, because they've been neglected under the old system. And so, you know, what you have to do is take these people, these idiots from the Koch brothers, aren't the only ones who've written reports. The Office of Budget and Management wrote a report, and they highlighted the fact that Medicare doesn't have middlemen sucking money out of the... I mean, I don't know how much money the multiple for-profit insurance companies and the healthcare companies suck out that doesn't ever get to the patient, right? So right there, I mean, that's like a no-brainer, right? I mean, do I have to explain to anybody that the fact that you're taking out the middlemen is going to save? And when you apply that, I would say that just a guesstimate, right? If you gave away health care for free, like you did with Obamacare to people who, you know, couldn't afford it. And from the statistics I've seen on how many people, how much more business the for-profit healthcare system is getting from Obamacare, from all the people who couldn't afford to see a doctor. So I'm saying, and not just poor people, but middle class and lower middle class, all the things they couldn't get, all the, you know, operations they couldn't have, all the treatments they couldn't have. And I mean, hopefully we'll be able to offer anything they need. You know, maybe not in the very beginning, but as time goes by, a national healthcare system like in England or whatever offers anything you need. And all the lies, you know, I mean, once they lose this battle, this Tapper dude, Tapper the idiot, once he loses this battle, this argument, he's going to find out that he's going to go back to the old arguments, and he's going to say, oh, everybody's sitting in waiting rooms, everybody's on long lists. Bullshit. In England, I went to the doctor. There wasn't anybody in the office the whole time I was there. I saw the doctor, I left, and as a matter of fact, it was really funny because, I go, well, how much do I owe you? And I brought several £100 with me. And she's like, you don't pay here. I was like, what? She goes, you don't pay in England when you see a doctor. And I go, but I'm an American. I was just there going to Oxford, right? No, sorry, but nobody pays here when they come in to see the doctor. I was just, and I was being sent to Oxford, so obviously I'm part of the, the ridiculously stupid rich people. Amazing. So, they're going to fall back on that argument. But as far as saving money, for accounting purposes, and by the way, I'm a trained economist. Okay, I have a bachelor's in business administration, but more importantly, I'm self-trained. Since then, I read everything and watch everything, and, I have all my, I've watched everything Richard Reich has to say. I've watched everything, I can't think of his name now, but he's got a show on RT. All of them. I watch everything, I read everything on the internet that I can get a hold of. So, I know what I'm talking about when I tell you that, of course, on just strictly a numbers basis, of course, the number is going to get larger. But it's not how much you pay. It's what you get back. And if all you get back is 2/3 through the for-profit system, but you get almost 3/3, like 90, I think it's like 94% you get back, and the other goes to just paying the people who answer the phones and set up the computers and do all that stuff, and they don't get paid a lot. So it's not like you're giving millions, and what essentially, if you counted all the different companies, billions to the for-profit company, who are just there to get in between you and your health care. And they do it in ways that are really sleazy and slimy. If you watch my, matter of fact, I'll add on my little piece about how they did me under Obamacare. I'll add it in with this as my news segment. So, there's no way. Tapper's just doubling down. He's pulling Trump on us. When you're wrong, you just double down. And trying to bring in one of these truth fact-check bullshit companies, internet sites, to back him up is just utter nonsense. You're allowed to extrapolate on what somebody else says, as long as you're accurate. It's perfectly okay to say, well, you look at what they had to say in this report and you extrapolate on it. Just take the numbers and make your own assumptions, as long as they're accurate assumptions, and extrapolate on and get the results. There's nothing wrong with saying that. There's nothing wrong with saying that your enemy pointed out how correct you are, because when you're dealing with evil people, they will always fight back, and more often than not, they will give you ammo for your own conclusions. And you need to watch for that, because when it seems like they're at their best, when it seems like they're utterly defeating you, usually right there in their own words, there are the seeds, because they're lying. Somewhere back there, if you're right and they're wrong, if you're sitting there and you don't have any objective except for to help some people, national health care does nothing for me. I'm one of these overprivileged, this country has taken care of me all my life. Silver spoon type thing. Even though I've denied it. I've denied them. I won't take it. I won't eat out of that silver spoon. Because I have a conscience. But I am one of those people. And when a person like me tells you that we need to help people who are less fortunate, you need to take it seriously. And the thing is I say it because I know it won't hurt me. It won't hurt me. You're not going to take my money to feed them. You see what I'm saying? That's all a big myth. That's a myth to keep people like me afraid of helping poor people. It's a myth. It's a lie. See, you don't have to tear down anything. You don't have to rob Peter to feed Paul. All you have to do is feed Paul. And what they do is they keep the supply down. It's hard to believe, but capitalism, the capitalists, the rich dudes, the guy with the hat and the monocle in the Monopoly game, they actually are against progress. They're against producing as much as people need. They produce as much as they want. They produce, you know what they produce? They produce a carrot that they can put on a stick, hanging by a string, in front of us donkeys, so that we will chase that carrot. And then they feed us what they want, when they want. That's how they determine supply. Not by what the donkey needs to be healthy and, relatively happy. No, they don't go by that. They go by what the donkey needs to serve them well. Okay? And Tapper is one of the people who gets paid well to push their bullshit.